So as a leader, how many of you have been hearing a lot about self-care? Not only self-care for yourself, but self-care for your staff, your students, your families. Well, for me, self-care always sounds like I've got to have a lot of time and enough of energy to get to a spa and enough money to be able to get some self-care. And so we want to really encourage you to think a little bit differently. So I'm Dr. Kristie Pretti-Frontczak, and along with Dr. Julie Causton, we have been thinking about ways to support leaders in doing the change that is required to create inclusive schools. And in fact, in our book, we talk about how to engage in self-care. And I'm going to read a couple of the strategies. So we're going to go into the book, and I'm going to go to page 107. And we list a few things that I'm going to invite you to think about. So one question we ask you to reflect on is, what professional allies and supporters can I rely on when I have questions or I'm feeling frustrated? What I appreciate about that reflection prompt is to say, I am going to be tired. I am going to be frustrated. I am going to be like, I'm not sure. So where have I built a community of folks that I can turn to? Reflection versus rumination. And rumination is when you think about woulda, shoulda, coulda, when you doubt things from the past and you play sort of like Monday morning quarterback. The idea is to be reflective. What could I have done differently? What would have been more successful? Where could I have supported my staff better? Versus, should I have sent that email? I probably should have done, right? Woulda, shoulda, coulda, not helpful, very ruminating. Reflective is like, what might make a difference going forward? Where did I maybe miss a cue or a way that I could have supported better? Another question that we ask for reflection over rumination is, who has walked this path before me? I would even say, who's walking this path alongside me? Where can I get with like-minded folks that will challenge me, but will also understand the path and the journey that I'm on? To whom can I delegate certain tasks? And with whom can I share responsibilities? This is a big one for leaders. Oftentimes it's easier to do it ourselves. Oftentimes we think for others before we ask. We think we know the answer. So it's really inviting us to not fill in the blanks with our own perceptions, even if we have a history with a person, but to really think about getting the facts to fill in the blanks, not our negative thoughts, our past history, our assumptions. How can I nourish myself with positive feedback? Sometimes when Julie and I are working together, she'll say, do you love it? Do you think it's the best ever? You know, like my choices are only good, better, or the best. It's not like, well, what do you think of that? It's like, how much do you love it? Like 10, you couldn't love it more. 15 is like, you can't believe how much you love it, right? So it's this idea of really asking people to give you feedback about what is working. One more. What activities or supports do I have outside of my work at school? And so I think one of the bigger myths we portray to leaders is that there's this thing called a work-life balance. And that's another whole topic, but I look for wholeness. So instead of thinking about how much time here and how much time there and how much energy and trying to get it into this equilibrium, I think about, am I feeling whole? Are all aspects of my life being nurtured and supported? Or am I really giving too much attention in one place or another? So as we think about those kind of bigger ideas around self-care, personal sustainability, emotional resistance, really thinking about reflection over rumination, hopefully a couple of those prompts will help you sort of turn a corner and have what it takes to keep up with this change to create more and more inclusive schools.